Thanks for watching the V Bodybuilding Show. Today I'm on location at the prestigious PT by Joe. If you haven't seen the PT by Joe's episode, that's Joe Valdez. Google it, check it out. Today I got a special guest host. He's an IFBB pro, Stephen Fiore. Just got his pro card at the North Americans, so he's here today filling in. I appreciate you talking to me on short notice.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, before we dive into and we call out the other IFBB pro, let's talk about your journey a little bit, because you and I go, I don't know if we go way back, but our paths have crossed quite a few times.
Yep.
I remember you from Lifetime Fitness, always in shape. Went over to Maximum Fitness, really in shape. Dude, I remember coming up to you. Remember what I said to you?
Yeah,
what did I say?
I was super lean, super big.
Super lean, super big. I said, well, what are you doing with all this? You're like, well, I'm thinking of doing a show. And I'm like, awesome, you should.
Yeah.
And then I haven't spoken to you until today. And now here you're this big IFBB pro. Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
That's awesome. So talk about your journey. So you did your first show. Actually, I don't want to. I just want you to tell a story. It's all about you. So
it's pretty much what you said. Started off basically it was December of last year. Had a bunch of people come up to me, and I've always been in shape, worked out like 20-something years. Never really understood the industry, getting into fitness or having a coach or even dieting for that matter. Just stayed lean. And a friend of mine came up and said, "What about bodybuilding?" And I had an injury and had a bunch of surgeries. Says,
you ripped your abductor off the bone.
I was playing racquetball and tore my adductor completely off the bone, which is supposedly really hard to do. So
yeah,
that ended that. And he said, "What
about
about physique?"
Stephen Fiore to do something like that, right?
So he brought up physique, and I didn't know what that was. And he goes, "Well, you go out in a pair of board shorts, and it's just kind of a beach boy kind of look." I'm like, "Oh, I kind of got that beach boy kind of look, so I'll give it a shot." So I started training on my own and dieting on my own, and was going for the March show a year from this Friday. And got to about March, and was getting close, and somebody said, "Well, what are you doing for posing?" I'm like, "Did you for posing? I don't know. I just go on stage and look around." He goes, No, you need a posing coach." So luckily I got PT by Joe, and was sent down here in March.
Well, he comes very highly recommended, doesn't he?
Very highly recommended.
Definitely. Got
down there, and unfortunately I gave him about 3 weeks to get ready. So he whipped me into shape, made first call outs in the open, and did awesome, had a great experience. But I knew when I walked off stage, I left something out there. I knew I could do more. So I got back together with Joe and trained for another 3 months, went down to Tucson in June, won that, came up to Mesa, placed there, and 4 months later, I think that's when you saw me, went up to Pittsburgh and got my pro card. So,
wow, that's an amazing story, because that was your first national show.
That was my first national
show. And you have these guys that are on the national stage year in and year out, and they just missing the pro card. So hats off to you, man. I mean, hard work shows on stage, and I know how hard you've been doing it. And you're no stranger to fitness, because you've always been into working out. I'm so happy that you finally did something with this body. Now you have some credentials. What are you going to do now that you're IFBB pro? What are you going to do?
We have our first pro show in about a month up in LA.
Okay.
So we're going to go out there and see what we can do out in LA and just get on the circuit.
Well, you're in really good shape, and we are doing a show.
Yes.
Now, I'd like you to put on a show. Let's see those abdominals. Let's see what we got.
Let's see. Take it. Almost there.
Wow. I don't know. I can't even pull mine out, but Jesus.
Get there. I got another month.
You look awesome. Look, okay, so I interrupted you. So you're going to do your first pro show, and then are you going on tour?
We're going to take it one at a time. I feel I'm kind of like 10 years late to the party. I'm going on my 43rd birthday, so we're in the
I'm the oldest guy here today. What the hell?
You're in bodybuilding.
Matt Mitchell's 43. You're 43.
Yeah.
Joe, are you 43?
44.
Oh, you're my age.
So we're close.
Yeah,
All right.
horrible.
So we're all in a couple of years. We got the youngin' over there, so that's.
How old are you? 39. Okay.
So
Good.
So we'll see how it goes, but I'm getting really excited. We're about 30 days out, so.
Good.
But right now, I'm just here to help Joe. I'm actually now the rookie. 1 year later is now the professional, I guess. So I'm going down and help Joe with all his athletes down in Mesa.
Well, you're inspiring a lot of people. I'm sure people will all, they all look up to you. You got the hardware. You got the IFBB Pro card. That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So, rewind a little bit. Take me back, because I know you've been into fitness, been into bodybuilding more than anything. Although you didn't do a bodybuilding competition, you were still into bodybuilding. Who was it that, like for me growing up, I used to look at Arnold Schwarzenegger that was who I wanted to look like. I still don't look like that, unfortunately. But who is it that inspired you to get into fitness?
Boy, if I told you, neither of my parents are athletic. No diets. I guess it was just self-motivation. There really wasn't anything out there. I've done everything from, I've run the Alaskan Marathon to Maui Marathon. So it wasn't really the bodybuilding. I was more into just fitness, kind of that beach
well, you have a lot of muscle
boy
mass.
look.
Yeah.
So I think that's what intrigued me the most about physique. You guys, that's a lot of hard work. I mean, training head to toe and the commitment and the diet and everything else, a little bit easier to get in physique shape. So I think at the end of the day, it was just the overall aesthetics of just having a body that I kind of have pretty much throughout the year.
And then, getting the physique, obviously I want to look a certain way, but I had some ulterior motives to having muscle. I lived down at the beach, kind of wanted to, was that a little bit of a motivation for you too?
I'm from.
Be honest.
Now I'm from Connecticut, so there's no beach in Connecticut. So moving out here, yes, your body is on the line a lot more than moving out from Connecticut. Even from a profession, I've always said, if you look good, you feel good, you perform well. And I think I've taken that just even into my businesses, where if I get up every morning and I look in the mirror and I feel good and I look good and you treat your body well, again, what you put in is what you put out. I think that was the overall goal at the end of the day. Everything else is the bonus.
That's very well spoken, like a IFBB pro. And how awesome is it? Because being into fitness, I mean, you do not look like you're 43 years old. No one in the studio that's in their late 30s or early 40s looks like their age, except me. But
no. Clean living. I've always said the same thing. I was a late bloomer. I've always lifted, but I've took my time and just a clean living. Like
talk about your winning moment. I want to hear what went on when they called your name and you're going to be the IFBB pro. What did you feel at that time? And then when did it sink in? Because I know when most people, they get their pro card, it doesn't really sink in for a little bit until people start coming up to them like, hey, congratulations. You're like, oh my God, I'm IFBB pro. How did you feel winning that? What did that feel like?
I probably still am very humble and very quiet and shy, so still to this day when you say it, it's like, oh, it's not really that big a deal, but I guess it is in the industry, so I don't know too much of it.
I think Joe's more excited than you are.
He is. Actually, he is. He's been excited from day one. He's the one jumping up and down. We're going to do this.
Right.
And he's kind of following along. But
and now you're co-hosting the V Bodybuilding show. You're natural.
It's exciting. I think day by day you learn to appreciate what you've accomplished, like anything else in life. But the biggest thing I think is we talked about with the team is you're sharing this experience, and that's the one thing about PT by Joe is you can see with all the hardware back here, it's
amazing. Yeah, you
don't walk in by yourself, and I think going backstage at these events, standing by yourself, that's more intimidating to me than with 500 other people around you than going out on stage.
Yeah.
So having 15, 20 other people, 2 or 3 coaches, it's a lot easier.
Well, you have a great support system,
into, right.
and that's a perfect segue to my next question, which is to get to where you are. You're an IFBB pro. He's an IFBB pro now. You obviously got there. You had some help. Obviously, you got PT by Joe. You got your trainers. You got your teammates. But is there you have a sponsor? Do you have like family and friends you want to throw a shout out to?
Joe's working on the sponsorship. Again, that's the problem being not a big talker. You don't sponsor yourself out. Right now, this has started off as a hobby and maybe might turn into something. So no on that front. But my little baby girl Kendall.
Yeah, she's your inspiration.
She's my big inspiration. She calls it a bathing suit show, and she'll tell me to do my tummy muscle exercises on my tablet, and I'll do that at night.
Not your abs, right?
Not right.
It's
It's tummy muscles, and it's a bathing suit show.
Very cute.
She'll check off my vitamins and my glutamine, glucosamine, and fish oil, and she wants to check them off every day. So it's pretty cool. So.
I can totally relate that. I'm glad you said that because this isn't my interview, but my daughter's name is Jordan, and I named her after Michael Jordan. My wife is going to know that now. It's a good time back. I just told her I like the name. But I'm watching my daughter ask me, why did you name me Jordan? So I get on the computer and I pull up like Michael Jordan, some inspirational of all of his highlights in his career. And we're watching this together, and we're both kind of misty. And I tell her, I said, Michael Jordan was my inspiration. But now you're my little inspiration. You're my little Jordan. So.
Nothing like Daddy's little girl.
That's right.
Nothing like
That's right. So you're a career guy, you're a family guy, and now how do you fit all that in? How do you balance all that now that you're a competitive physique competitor? I wasn't a competitive bodybuilder. I don't know how to say that.
No.
But how do you balance all that? Because I know for me it's a struggle. I mean, I'm getting home late. I leave early. I got my cardio. I'm like, you know, I'm no fun to be around because I don't eat pizza and stuff like that. I mean, is it tough for you too?
It's tough, especially, you know, my daughter's only 6, so 4, 5, and 6, a little trying, but you know, at the end of the day, you give them a kiss goodnight and you see that look on their face, and everything else just goes by the wayside. That's where the marathon training, to me, it's slow and steady. Everything's slow and steady. Life is not a race, it's a marathon, and you can take that into bodybuilding and fitness and everything else. You just
Stephen Fiore, we have all kinds of things in common because, you know, one thing that I told my wife one time is that, you know, it's never perfect. There's always, you know, you have to work at your relationship, whether it's a friendship or your girlfriend or your wife or your daughter. And I told her, I said, you know, we got to look at our marriage like a 1,000K marathon. You're looking at our marriage like a 40-yard dash. Yeah, we're losing that race right now. But just because we're losing the 40-yard dash doesn't mean we can't win the 10,000K, right?
Absolutely.
So, you know, slow and steady, I can totally relate to that. So that's cool. That's cool.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Yeah. Anything else you want to throw out to anybody in the bodybuilding industry?
Just again, I don't know enough except
Stephen Fiore.
PT by Joe for bringing home the hardware, giving me the support, and putting me on stage April 10th in Culver City.
That's your show. That's the pro show.
That's the pro show.
Awesome. Are you going to be going head to head with Matt Christianier?
If he hasn't qualified for the Olympia, probably.
Yeah, I think that's his show, huh, Joe?
Yes, it is.
You'll be going with him. That'll be great. That'll be a battle.
The Young Bucks.
Yeah. Hey, it doesn't matter. You're right there with him, man.
We'll see.
You know. Well, dude, thank you for coming on. You're gonna hang out. We're gonna do another interview. But Stephen Fiore, IFBB Pro, trains out of PT by Joe. How do people get a hold of you if they want to get a hold of you on Facebook, Instagram, email? PT by Joe. He likes to keep it anonymous, people. The Bodybuilding Show on behalf of Stephen Fiore, Vincent BJ Hils. So I'm gonna throw my a shout out to my sponsors: Six Pack Bags, Pro Sups, My Oatmeal, and Metroflex. Thanks a lot. Like it, favorite, tweet it, share it. Thanks for watching.